Oh, hi, I'm Ariciel, and my reaction to the article depicting American culture was um, I actually verbally gasped and had my mouth open just because I did not know that American culture was depicted in such a extreme way, especially the La Lispa ritual. I was also I also did not know a lot about these events that happened. Um, But with the La Lispa ritual, very wealthy, only rich, wealthy people could do this ritual. Um, Once they were approved and processed, they then had to go through a ceremony, and if they survived the ceremony, then they would still have to pay another, or they would have to give a large gift to the guardian. Um, so again, only rich people could do this, and they knew that going into this ritual that they were going to be dying, and they had that mindset. And so after rereading and like looking over this specific ritual, I took away that mindset of they were going in there for one thing, and it didn't matter how much they had to pay. And I connected that with in today's society, travel sports. Um, a lot of more so high schoolers already know what the travel sports are going to be like. It's going to be hard on parents, relationships, coaching staffs. It's all going to be really hard on the player, but they're still going to do it year after year. Um, Even if it was a hard year, after a travel season is done, they'll most likely join the same group or join another group in hopes for a different outcome. And I'm connecting that to this La Lispo ritual because of the mindset. The mindset being the rich people in this ritual know what they're going in for and that one thing. And the same thing for travel players. They know doesn't matter the money. It's most like the parents' money, but it doesn't matter the money for them. They want one thing. They want to be better at their sport. And so I connected those two together. Um, Even though one was really extreme, basically mainly for their mindsets. A communication pattern that I saw, that I see within America's society, is texting, which even like saying that is kind of like um, telling of my generation specifically. Um, but I feel like an outsider looking in, especially North Korea and China, where WhatsApp, a messaging service, is banned there. Looking into America and how like we always text to communicate and to get fast information out, um, they might think it's pointless to text when you could just go to the person and have a conversation if you're able to, or call the person and actually have a genuine conversation, because text messages can be misinterpreted, and the communication, and the tone and the feeling is not there on the words that you're reading. Whereas if I'm having a conversation with someone, phone call or in person, they can read my body language, they can read my tone, and portray, and then in turn understand the words that I'm trying to say and how I'm trying to say it. Um, and I think texting is really represented in the American worldviews as we value freedom of speech. Not only that, but freedom of speech in a fast and easy. We want information like that. So why call someone and wait 5 seconds for it to ring and then not even answer maybe when I could text them in that 5 seconds that the phone is ringing? Or why take the time to go down the street and have a conversation with the person when I could just text them? Because it's simpler and it's easier and they'll get the gist. Um, but yeah, this has texting over time has changed. Even before, like when we didn't have like there were no phones, people sent letters, um, describing their emotions and how they were feeling. And in 1993, Nokia makes the first phone to send limited text only between shared networks. So you were still texting, but more so talking and calling people. And during 1993 and 1999, users can text across all networks. Um, And then this also has shaped into 2005, where the press office in Rome sends thousands of text messages to journalists breaking the news of Pope John II's death. Um, and I think that is insane, just over the course of 12 years, how much texting has changed in that short amount of time. From 1993, where only a couple users could send text messages, to a journalist in Rome sending thousands, or the press office in Rome sending thousands of text messages to journalists. Now, the information did not say where the journalists were. I would assume that it's not only in Rome and in Europe, but the United States, all over the world. That's how I interpreted it. And I think that's honestly insane. And then even now we have more so changed to getting alerts on our phones and like with COVID in 2020, getting alerts by the CDC about health and safety, and then also with more so texting, I think phones have really changed into quick text messages, and instead of understanding how someone is feeling, there's no more feelings or emotions. It's emojis, and our feelings and emotions are represented by emoji, whether that is a crying emoji or emoji with a party hat and a um, confetti popper coming out of its mouth. That is how we are representing our emotions instead of actually explaining it to the person, which is detrimental to the United States, because we are no longer making intimate connections, and we're scared to. According to Harvard Business Law, misplaced fears of an awkward interaction, it appears, can lead to mistaken preference for typing rather than talking. And this was after they did an experiment of a group of people who they asked if they would like to reach out to a long lost friend, and how would they like to do that, talking or texting. They were mixed. So people were like, I would like to text, but I would also want to talk to the person in order to get a deep and meaningful conversation with that person that I haven't seen in a while. But they were hesitant in doing so because they're scared of that awkward interaction that is to come with talking to the person in person. So that's why texting has become more so prevalent in the United States culture, because people are scared of just the awkward feeling that is going to come with a conversation. Not even the conversation itself, just how is this conversation going to flow, more so, which is detrimental to the United States again, because we're not building relationships anymore. We're not having connections with people anymore. We're not taking the time to understand people and understand their backgrounds and where they're coming from. We're just texting them, hi, how are you doing? Good. And that's it. Whereas in person, we can understand body language, we can understand facial expressions, and we can probably pick up on those cues and those social cues, whereas in person, again, we can't. Which I think goes back to how some people may look at the United States, whereas people may look at the United States texting as kind of like stupid or dumb, and just not the best way of getting information out, because you can't say emotions in text. But that is my reflection on the article. Thank you for your time.